Well, Tim, we found a good tree here. Get through this water. This is a big one.
This one here?
Yeah. This is probably too big for what we need. But it's a good tree because you can see how straight it grows. And we probably could use it someday, but not for what we're doing today. So we'll just let this one go. There's also this green moss on here too. And this green moss always is on some good black ash trees. You see that green moss on there, you'll know that's a good black ash tree. That's just one of the ways of telling it.
So this is a pretty big tree. I imagine it's pretty old.
Yeah, I would say this thing is, I don't know how many years, but it's one of the biggest I've seen here in the swamp. But I think we'll just let this one go. But to give you an idea of what, you can look at the leaves up there and see what a black ash tree looks like. Gives you a good idea.
Yeah.
But if you'll see, there's some cedar up there. And that's also another way to tell if there's good black ash. They say there should always be some cedar around. And when you find a good one, there will usually be about 3 other trees.
Cedar trees?
No, 3 other good black ash trees right around there. So we just got to keep looking. Kind of wet in here. The only place black ash grows is in the swamp, though. Now, this tree here is a black ash tree, and if you look really close, you'll be able to see the green moss. This is the green moss I was telling you about. And the only thing wrong with this tree now, if you'll notice it, it's crooked.
It's not even real straight.
No, so that still isn't a good tree. Like I was telling you, the most important part in finding your log, your tree, is getting a good one, a good straight one. And this one isn't exactly what I'm looking for today. So I think we'll...
Why does it have to be so straight for a tree?
Because you're working with the splints, and you're working down, and you want your splints to be really straight. And if they're crooked like that, your splints, when you start making your basket, they're going to be crooked,
awkward,
and your basket is going to be wobbly. So that's why you want to have a good straight tree. But there's cedar right there.
Yeah.
It's next to a cedar tree, and it's got that green moss on it. You make it, Tim?
Yeah, I got it.
I just want to show you what a little black ash tree looks like. This is a little sapling, and these are the leaves here, so that you can identify it when you go out by yourself the next time, so you'll know what it looks like. And in wintertime, of course, you're going to have to just be able to identify it without the leaves, and it's kind of hard to describe it. The leaves are, the branches are thick, and that's the only way I can tell about how to identify a black ash in winter. You can cut black ash year-round, summertime and the wintertime, but this time of the year, right now, this summer, this month, June, is the best month for black ash. It grows in a swamp, and it contains a lot of moisture, and it's easy to work with. It has a lot of it's flexible. Now, if you take a white ash tree, white ashes won't grow in a swamp usually, they may grow like in the highland a little bit, and they're a little bit less moisture in there. You can use that white ash too, but you usually use that white ash for like your handles on a market basket as it comes up like that.
Sure.
And you have to be able to carve it and work it down.
It's kind of stiff and hard to, it's not real pliable.
It's a little bit more brittle
Brittle.
than this black ash. There's about 5 different kinds of ash. There's white ash, black ash, mountain ash, green ash. I think there's a thing they call brown ash. But for this area here, the Upper Peninsula, it's black ash is your best tree.
The bush to look for this black ash. You look at your tree up and down. As you look up into that tree, you see any bird nest up there. Please do not take that one because it is for nesting. Respect those birds that are up there, that are staying there. That is their home. Leave that one alone. And if you see another tree got a whole bunch of branches on it, do not take that one because it is meant to use as a shade tree. As you look around, you'll see one that is straight and not many branches on it, and you know that will be the one for making baskets because nobody else has any use for it. The animals out there, the birds, they don't have no use for it. So it's for us to use, that's for us to take. So.
Oh. I see a good tree in there, right over there. Real good one. See it among those cedars? Yeah. Go over and check it out.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks like a pretty good one.
Yeah, look at this moss on here.
Yeah. It's nice and straight. It's nice and big. But I don't know, I want to cut it down because I might hang it up on those other trees up there. So I think what we'll do is we'll just let this one go for right now. This is a good one. Maybe I'll come back and I'll get it later on this
Well,
summer.
it looks so, you can see how straight it is. And there's no knots like you were mentioning before.
Yeah. I'll just tap into it. First, before we cut it, what I want to do is like take a little chip out of the bottom and we'll check to see the growths, to see how wide they are. Okay, this looks pretty good. Looks like a good tree.
Well, how wide does it have to be, actually?
I like the width of the tree rings to be about a size of a nickel.
Oh, yeah?
You want to get them wide enough so that you can split them and then you can split them maybe another time again. So I like to work with wider trees. think this will be a good tree. Okay, the way they told me, whenever you go out in the woods and you're going to go hunting or go fishing, you always take your tobacco with you. And you always make an offering. Like if you go and shoot a deer, you put down your tobacco. And the same thing, you do the same thing for this Wisagat. You put down your tobacco, make a little offering, say a little prayer. You can say it in English if you want, or if some people do know their language, they say it in Indian. And this will guarantee, or it makes that black ash come back again. So it will always be coming. You'll always have black ash. So I'm going to just say a little prayer and then offer my tobacco. Bonjour, Wisagat. Indigenous Giotasige. I'm going to put down this tobacco and offer it to you for giving your life so that we can make our baskets tomorrow, and we can make our baskets all summer long. And I want to say Chimigwech. Okay, let's go on. I'm gonna carry the saw and the axe.
You're gonna carry the what?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll put it down right over here.
Okay.
Tim, grab that,
Okay.
that blanket, that covering here. And I just shake it off a little bit. And I want to cover this, the log we just got out of the woods.
All right.
I'm gonna let that set here for a few days.
Why are we covering it with the blanket?
Well, that keeps it so it won't dry out so
Oh,
fast.
Okay.
Right now because of the heat and that. And you want to take care of your log.
All right.
So what I want to do next is, this log was cut 4 days ago. So I'm going to take this.
So this
and
is
we're
all
gonna-
ready then, huh?
Yeah, we're going to start working on this one.
Okay. How's that?
Good. Very good. Okay, we can just take this bark off.
Pull it off?
Just peel it off. Okay, that's good enough. Why don't you just tear it down?
Tear it.
Like this. And maybe turn it and take off about 4 inches on this side too.
Okay.
Okay, that's about good enough. Okay, I usually save the spark too. And what I do is I put it over on top of that log there. That
For
way
more
it'll,
protection?
yeah, it'll take care of your tree. Okay, now remember when we're in the woods and I told you that we have to always work down on our tree?
Yeah.
Okay,
From
so
the top to the bottom?
from the top of the tree to the bottom. And this here is the bottom of the tree. This is where it was growing.
Sure.
And this is the top. So if you want to, Junior, just take and put that in, and Junior will show you how to tap it in. The first one I usually tap in a little smaller, because that one is harder to come up. Yeah, it's maybe about 1.5 inches wide. And then after a while, after we get this first row of splints out, then we're going to keep going this way. You can make your splints a little wider. And you continue going down here. What's important is to make sure that you hit the log right on the flat of this axe handle here, the flat side. If you hit it on an angle like that, it's going to cut right into your splints, and it's going to break your splints. And if you hit it like this, it's also going to make dents into your splints, and it's not going to be very good. So it's really important to get to a certain, I don't know, rhythm going, and you hit it at a certain I don't know the word, certain amount of force. And I've been doing this for a while, so I kind of have my own rhythm going.
Okay. Sounds good.
You don't want to hit it too hard and murder it. If you can look at the front over here, Tim, you'll see the water. Okay, when I hit it,
Oh yeah?
you'll see the water just come right out of it. See it?
Oh yeah. Like a sprint.
Pull it up. I have to tap that in though.
Okay.
So the coming of the axe, we'd look around in the hardwoods area and the higher ground and look for ironwood with a big gnarl on it.
Yeah.
And we take and cut that off and bring that home, peel the bark off of it and let it dry, go out and hunt for another one till we got both of them same size. And this is what we found that ash with, using both hands, one on each hand, and just go right down the log. And maybe you take 3 strips at a time, 3 layers at a time, and this was good wood on wood, and it didn't hurt the fibers any. It was just right. Mm-hmm.
That's hard work. It is.
Need somebody to take over?
Out here? Yeah.
good thoughts while you're pounding that ash. You kind of almost like you're praying, saying a little prayer as you're pounding that ash. You're asking this ash to be good to the person that's going to get this basket. Kind of watch over that person that's going to have that basket at their house. Bring them good luck. Bring them happiness. This is what you have in your mind while you're doing this basket. So when that person receives that basket or buys that basket, has that good feeling inside of his house, wherever he lives, that basket always brings good luck and happiness in the home. Sometimes when we buy something, just think of those people that work in the factory, they're swearing at this and here, and then guess what happens in your house when it arrives at your house? Part of that is there, that anger that was in the factory, but when you do it here, all those good thoughts come along with it, and your house starts to feel happy because of the good things that went wrong with it.
Step in getting your splints ready is splitting. That's after you've done pounded your log. And I told everybody yesterday that we start pounding from the top of the tree and work down to the bottom. And when you split your splints, you start from the top and you work your way down. It's easier that way. If you start from the bottom and go the other way, your splints will run off. So it's important always to start at the top. This top layer here, it's kind of almost like a bark, but this is really good. This makes real good binding for your basket on the top when you're binding it up, and it's like rope actually. It's hard to break. So what I do is I keep these separate and in a separate pile. That's for the binding, and it's also for the weaving of the bottom when you're going around in the circle to get it real tight. I save that for that. For everybody splint, and you can practice on splitting this. It takes about a day to learn how to do it, and then doing it by yourself, because you got to do a little bit of concentration on it. So you take your splint and you work from the top, and I go about 1 inch from the top, and I take my knife like this and score it. You cut right into it, and you cut it right straight across all the way, and then you bend it over. You kind of break it so that it's broken all the way through. And you got to work at it to get it going. You got to work at it real slow. It'll take you a little while to get the hang of it. And it's going to run off for you. But don't throw it away. We'll just make another cut down here and then split it again and then pull it apart. This is just for practice for right now. Between your two knees like that and hold it, and that way it'll keep it nice and firm. I could do it because I've been doing this for a while now. I could do it like that. But when you first get started, put it between your knees. And I think what probably most of you will do is probably just pull it apart like that. And it won't work. It's going to run right off. This side it's going to run off. You got to work it down. This splint is thick, and it's thick enough to be cut in two. And what you're going to have then is you're going to have this real satin, smooth splint, and this will go for the outside of your basket, and the rough side will be on the inside of it. Okay. Dan, maybe you can show them how to start it. You can start done this before. that, you know, like just work
Like
your
that?
splint like that. Just loosen it up. If you're having a problem with it, take your splint and then work it back and forth like this, and that'll loosen it up a little bit. That way it won't run, because these are pretty fine splints.
The bigger the tree, the wider the...
Sometimes, yeah.
I'd be lucky if I get to the Sault Ste. Marie Hall.
Last year that somebody got married over there.
Nope.
Was going to get married.
This bottom piece.
College there. And we went there for the feast.
Oh, at Bay Mills?
Yeah, maybe I went there for the feast and they went to have a wedding maybe 2 weeks and then that thing.
Oh, good. You got it going.
She's doing good.
Yeah.
See how
Herb that goes, wake it and rub that. Rub it on your skin. Mosquitoes won't come close. Rub it on your face.
I'm sure it's still out there, isn't it?
Oh, there's plenty of it going. They call it pepper.
Aye.
It's almost tastes like pepper. But it's penny oil. It only goes with
So look at the pro here.
Yeah, she's doing it.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Takes a lot of concentration when you first get started. Need another splint in?
Yeah.
Another one?
arthritis in your hands here when they're rugged. Yeah, I guess if you're a good doctor, you have a lot of patience.